Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are just at the closing bell, 3 minutes before close on Tuesday, October 19th. We're going to take a look at SoFi. Now I want to do a couple of things. One, we're going to take a look at the daily and see sort of like in the macro sense of things where we stand on the charts. And then I want to flip over to some tweets that I was putting out today for the intraday price action. And we can take a look at that because then that'll buy us a few minutes and the market will be fully closed. And then we'll take a look, of course, at the data before we call it a video and move on. So on the daily, now, I know this is atrocious to look at the moment, but this is just how it goes. Obviously, we're going to finish red today, right? Down about, 3% right now? Is that right? Yeah. So a nice breath today, in all honesty. But here's the thing to me. Volume, about 25.5 million right now. Obviously, it'll close out the day higher than that when everything finishes rolling in, and we'll probably get a few sizable trades in the very last minutes here. But I mean, you look at the huge green day yesterday, 48.5 million. So you're talking about 20 million, probably over 20 million volume difference day over day, flipping green to red. So I feel okay with that. Another red day here, 22 million, 33 million on a green day. 31 million on a red day, 47 million on a green day, 69 million on a green day. So this is a good trend to me. These are nice ways to have the price action and sort of the shares turnover take a nice breath in a low volume way. So I feel still pretty good about that. Now we do see, as we were talking about yesterday, we're waiting to start seeing bodies of candles try to break through this yellow resistance, downtrending resistance that stretches back on the weekly for quite some time, right? That's this one here. And so we do see on the weekly candle, the wick pointing up, but I'm okay sort of scoping out the daily here and watching for that daily, like we were talking about yesterday, to really establish a full candle, open and close, above this yellow line. To me, that like we're in really, really good territory there for the bulls if we can get that to happen. Now, the other thing that we have right now, because we're sort of establishing price action on top of this white channel, we're starting to see it act as an additional form of support. So there's a nice thing there that's coming into play as well. And so if we can continue to walk up, obviously that'll break us through the yellow downtrending resistance and could help sort of firm up that position. Now, if we have a hard time with this one, I do still see this sort of kind of probably weakish support at 1993. But the other thing there is I would be looking for the $20, just that psychological level, to really provide the bulk of that support there. Because like I said, that 1993 level itself, there's a little bit of flipping that you see back here, but it's not tremendously strong as far as I can tell. So if it does come down to there, it may just be a factor of it sort of toying with the idea of giving up the $20 psychological level and then kind of revolting against that and coming back up. But obviously, then we have the level of 1904. If it does come down and sort of works itself back into this channel, that still leaves a bunch of things in play. That still leaves 1904. That still leaves the bottom bound of this channel as support. That still leaves us on a sort of a path to reapproach this yellow resistance line and see if we can punch through on another attempt. And that may be how these things play out, but at this point, like I said, red day, sure, but low volume red day doesn't feel super concerning to me at the moment. This doesn't feel like a shift. It feels like a kind of a breath in the price action, which folks have been calling for several days now, and I think this is a pretty decent one today. So we'll see where it leads us as we, work ourselves through the rest of the week. But like I said, if we can get a full candle above this yellow, I had said in last night's video, I would expect the earliest that could happen will be Wednesday, which is tomorrow now. I doubt we would get there. So still looking to see if we can string, some green action together, get some buying pressure back in, establishing above that by the end of the week is still within the realm of possibility, in my opinion. Now, let's go to the intraday. So first thing we saw, this was at 9:51 this morning. So let's flip ourselves over to the daily. And again, this is just in case folks are trying to find entries or play intraday along with swing or investing or whatever you're doing. These are just ways that I'm thinking about the intraday price movements with SoFi. So obviously it came down here, and this is when I put that tweet out. It caught the support, it was within like 3 pennies of this 2058 level and tried to make a run up. Right, but that was clearly a big bull trap there, as it just stretched over the VWAP and then fell right back through. And that caused it to fall again right through the 2058 level. So it didn't put up any support there, but very quickly turned resistance, right? It was trying to sort of like claw back to that level and just kept getting shoved down. And then it sort of pinned itself to here. And so let me catch up to my next tweets. So I'd put that one out. And my Twitter handle link is in the description below if you want to take a look. So then at 10 a.m. on the dot, talking about these pivot points. So there was this clear pivot point at 2058. That is what we had charted. And then intraday, I was noticing a pivot point at 2105. And so that would have been right up here. And these are, again, areas where it flips from support to resistance or vice versa, and then has a tendency to make a strong move in that direction afterward. So I was looking at this level here, and obviously it got nowhere near that, right? I put this out at 10 a.m., which was right here, and it was losing this pivot point right at that moment. And so then going up through, I don't know why I thought that this would be smoother in my head, but this feels kind of clunky. But maybe I'll just say from here, you can go ahead and just flip over to my Twitter if you want to look. But 11 o'clock, then I was talking about the VWAP test here, which you can just see. We don't really have to flip over to the chart. And then going into here at 12:30 about, here it was pretty obvious to me that it wanted to make an upside swing and retest. But like, what it's going to do with that retest is the next question, right? So this was at 12:28. So at 12:28, we were right here. We're clearly establishing this uptrend, right? So I put that out here, and it obviously made a run up, and it did do a retest. But it quickly lost this on that. It didn't even get a chance to quite test the VWAP. It tested that 2058 level and got shoved off. And so then when it started to shove off and sort of bat around there, it's coming up for the retest. And this was a really strong nexus point because you had the 2058 support and resistance zone, you had the 180 MA, which we've talked about several times. It's been playing a big factor, and the VWAP. So these were all in a really tight vicinity. So had it been able to grab support there, I felt like it could have certainly made a strong move, but it was going to make a strong move in either direction because it was such a critical points at that moment. Now again, just critical for intraday stuff, not critical super long term, of course. Big if, we can push the VWAP in yellow here again, I think SoFi can break it. Okay, and that was at 1:45. So at 12:44, we see that was right here. Right, we had already made that one attempt, and then we couldn't quite break it. Right, we got caught on this 2058, and so because we couldn't even make a second true attempt, then got sort of like into a sticky situation. And then I think there's maybe just one more, and then I kind of got busy. Yeah, so last one that I had put out on SoFi today at 118. So it started to get stuck here. Right, careful. If it hangs out here too long, starts to drop, because I knew that this was leaving its trend, right? The trend is your friend until the end. And this was looking like it was coming up to an end because it was just so beating its head against that 2058 level. And then because it was doing that and it just wasn't able to get motion above it, it lost that support that it had that was going to run it into the VWAP for another test. And because it, lost that, it was looking like it was going to drop to me. So that was at 118. So you would have seen that right here exactly. And then that's exactly what you saw happen, right? From there, it fell from about 2054 down about 40 cents. So that was how I was sort of looking and reading the price action throughout the day. As I can, I'll do that, when I can on Twitter, not just for SoFi, but for other stocks as well. But it definitely helps if I'm familiar with a stock, and sort of go from there. If it's interesting to people, feel free to hop over there and take a look. I did want to sort of start here just for a quick mention. You undoubtedly remember the insane upside potential that we had from the analysts' consensus targets just a couple of weeks ago, right? It's now just 15% additional upside, which I think we would all take, of course, right? But it's just funny to see how much that number has dwindled, and partly here because we have a price change in the last month of 38.17%. So congrats to anyone who caught all or some of that. The shorts today, per Ortex's estimate, peeling back almost 5%, sticking us to almost 7.5% of the free float being shorted. Utilization still quite low, and cost to borrow negligible. So not much happening on that side of things. But that'll do it for this one. I hope everyone's trading week is off to a good start, and I appreciate you watching. I will see you in the next video.